We're recording.
All right, we got spooky lighting for this one.
Yeah, we're recording. All right. So we just saw Paw Patrol the movie.
Oh. Oh yeah, most definitely best G-rated film.
Damn, that was intense for a kids movie.
I know, right? You see like the end with the big explosions? Like I wasn't expecting that at all.
Damn. But no,
Great intro.
Nah, we went and saw Malignant. Yeah, Paw Patrol was playing next door in the next door. But
I was wondering what was going on next door before the movie started. I heard some big stuff going on.
I didn't even know Paw Patrol had a movie.
Nah, we went and saw Malignant. Oh my gosh, this was wild.
This was such an insane movie, but I loved every second of it.
I love it.
It's not perfect, but I loved it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I felt James Wan in this movie.
Oh, I mentioned that to y'all as we were walking out, saying, you said that, this is definitely James Wan. I'm like, oh, this is all James Wan.
I mean, I felt Saw in this one. I felt The Conjuring in this one.
I got Conjuring vibes from the trailer, but when you watch this movie, you realize you're getting Conjuring 1 and 2, you're getting Saw, and you're even getting a little bit of Aquaman and Furious 7, because there's a lot of action.
Yeah, that's especially near the end.
That I was like,
and then,
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what were you saying?
No, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Like honestly, I was not expecting the action to be kicked up. Like at the
end,
it was really kind of. I was like, oh yeah, I'm in a horror film. Like, and boom, action scene. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but it didn't take too much away from the film.
Mm-hmm.
But it was unexpected.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So this movie is about the actress's name is Annabelle Wallis, and I don't recognize what she's from.
Maybe. There's a lot of people I didn't recognize.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't recognize anybody. But she plays this woman who is experiencing. First of all, it starts out the movie. She's pregnant, and she's married to an absolute shitbag of a guy.
Piece of shit human being.
Like, slams her against his pregnant wife against the wall and busts her head.
Like, category A, abusive son of a bitch.
Yeah, like, and...
Down to the, say, like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to cut down on the alcohol and everything. Yeah. It's just like, bullshit, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, but slams her against the wall, and next thing you know, she begins seeing, like... Does it start with what exactly started first? Was it the vision?
It was like visions.
The visions of killings.
Yep.
And it's like, this is a rabbit hole of a film.
Yes.
That goes
a lot of layers.
Where she begins seeing visions of killings that she realizes are unlocking things about her past that she's either covered up, forgotten, or didn't even know about. And so it suddenly becomes this kind of a combination of supernatural horror film, police thriller, stalker thriller, and revenge horror. All in one wonderful little...
And body horror.
Body horror, yeah. That was something else about this. There was a surprising amount of biological horror in this film. Because it opens up with this psychological prison, like back in like the 90s.
Yeah, like
where
kind of looking a little bit like Arkham Asylum.
Where there's something going on where these people are hiding some kind of monster of some kind. And you don't know how, but you know that it has something to do with this girl. And as you start to follow along and she's beginning to see these killings that this thing is committing, you start to find out, okay, how they're connected, and all these pieces kind of starting to
also, if you're not looking for this movie to get spoiled, because the twist is pretty insane, stop watching now.
Yeah.
Save yourself and go watch it, then come back.
I'm going to try to talk about this without spoiling it, but...
Maybe we'll talk spoilers at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, leave if once we give our ratings and we do spoil it, you can leave. And then go watch it.
Yeah. And, so basically, the first killing you see is there's just some kind of shadowy, hairy figure that reminds you of like Oh gosh, I had an idea of what it kind of reminded me of at first.
I got the Ring vibe.
Grudge. I kind of got Grudge, like,
yeah.
and Ju-on, the Japanese Grudge off of that.
Yeah.
At first.
I also wanted to kind of. This is actually part of what I was gonna say earlier. I also kind of got a little bit of Wendigo vibes. Like, have y'all played or seen Until Dawn, the video game?
Yeah.
A lot of the movie gave me that vibe.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and the way like this thing moves is very reminiscent of that as well.
Yeah, and it's one of these things. This movie always keeps you guessing. Oh, please don't hit my car.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, they were. I almost got hit today at Kroger.
Oh my.
But crazy these days.
Yeah, but it really kind of. It constantly leaves you guessing because you're like, is this thing a ghost? Like, it almost has you first thinking, okay, this is like a supernatural, like, haunted house thriller. Mm-hmm. And then you start to realize, no, this thing is 100% real, but why? Where does it come from? And in what ways does it connect to her? Where it's calling her up on the phone and saying, that's not your real name.
Yeah.
You're... Emily. Like calling her up, and she's like, and she somehow knows that this thing is named Gabriel, and it's one of these things like you're constantly wondering, like, it's always changing into something else, and I feel like that is where a little bit of my problems with it is. I feel like it is trying to be too many things.
Yeah.
But in the end, I feel like it mostly works.
Yeah.
This So I'll pass on one of y'all. What do y'all want to add something to that?
I mean, y'all saw me in the theater. I was cringing. I was squirming. Like my leg. A good thing those chairs reclined because my legs were all the way up to my chest at one point. I did see that.
I didn't acknowledge it.
And yeah, it's just, this. I will admit, I was scrolling through Facebook, came across Rotten Tomatoes article about it. And like dumbass I am, I went into the comments, and it kind of got partially spoiled to me. So I was really interested. Like, I wanted to look no more, keep all the rest of it to myself. I said, I'll wait till I actually see the movie to pass judgment. And look, some people might not have liked it. I thought it was really good.
I tried not to read anything about into the plot of this film. Because all I went into this was the trailer, and I thought this movie was going to focus way more on this imaginary friend element. Yeah. And that doesn't come into play until later on.
Midway of the movie.
Yeah, because that's where they convince you where you're like, okay, maybe this is where this thing is connected to her. And it kind of at that point started to remind me a little bit of this really cool indie horror film I saw a few years ago called Daniel Isn't Real. Did y'all ever see that movie?
No, but I'm looking. Now that you mentioned it, I might look it up.
It was really cool. I felt the ending of that movie was a little underbaked, but it was really good. And I surprisingly, it has Patrick Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son in it.
Really?
Does a pretty good job playing this evil imaginary friend. As like an adult. Well, it was a story about this boy who you think he makes this friend of this other little boy at the park, and you realize, no, this is an imaginary friend he's made, and then the imaginary friend starts telling him to put like his pills in his mom's drink.
Oh my god.
And so then they lock him away in this dollhouse, but then when the boy comes home from when he's in college, he opens up this dollhouse, and now the imaginary friend's out again, and is and you realize he's trying to take over his body, basically.
And it sounds very similar to what happened in the film, because when her husband slams her head into the wall, that's what causes Gabriel.
This everything to start. Out. Yeah, it's full of surprises. This movie's full of surprises.
It really is.
It's very unpredictable.
Camera work is awesome. Like that over there, that
the top view,
the top down view. It's almost like you're looking through a dollhouse.
Yeah.
Which makes it almost just a little bit claustrophobic and distorting, and it
very
works really
mentally
good.
Disorienting. Is what this movie is. It's very mentally disorienting.
Yeah. And that definitely played in its favor big time.
Yeah, it's a very beautifully stylized, but definitely one of the most stylized horror films I've seen in a while. You and I have been talking about a lot lately. Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
This is a great appetizer into Last Night in Soho. I'm so excited for that movie, and this movie. I'm sitting there thinking, this looks a lot like the stuff I've seen, because I've seen that trailer so many times coming to movies now. Let me think. Was there something else about this? So yeah, we touched on there was a lot more like you were talking about earlier. There's a lot more biological horror in this movie than I was expecting.
Like when Gabriel started, like he went after to like the assistant doctor, played by the actor I've seen several times and is always playing a doctor. When like he started, slashing his face and his throat, I did not expect the next scene to see this guy's face basically taken off.
Right.
And there just being like bone and muscle tissue under there.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. I love a horror movie that can make me squirm. And I squirmed so bad during that film.
I was too. This is a just disturbing, icky little movie.
Yeah.
I know.
And I loved it.
It's a nice prelude into October.
I know. Yes.
Like, this movie had me like just shaking in my seat because I was like just seeing the shadows just come out from nowhere. And you just waiting for where it's gonna pop up, and I'm like, where is he at? He is somewhere. And then like just like the spectacular visual of the movie with Mandy and Gabriel's is like you get like two different perspectives, and then boom, it's like starts changing the surrounding. Now you're in this place, and while she's locked up, I'm like, wow, this is really...
Because every one of these killings she sees, it like she becomes immobilized, and then she's literally sitting there in the room watching Gabriel kill these doctors who have something to do with that asylum from the beginning of the film. And that's again where you have these cop characters that are there, sort of connecting the dots along with us, the audience. And that was one of the things I felt like. This is a movie that I feel like too often felt the need to explain itself.
Yeah.
It would literally show you like exactly what you need, and then it would cut to either the sister or the cops or the sister character. And they'd be talking on the phone, Gabriel is this, and go into these overly detailed, and like, I feel like it didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense to like push the story forward because she knows the cop doesn't know, so it makes sense for her to call it. And yeah, I do feel like it was a bit over-explained, like the audience really could have.
This is
connected the dots.
because that's because this is a mainstream horror film, and when you have a wide release film, you're going to have a lot more dumb audience members who need them. You are. Like, A24 is not for everyone. That's why A24 doesn't explain anything.
Yeah.
That's why they show you what you need to know, and you piece it together or you don't. And if you don't, you're not the audience for an A24
That's why
film.
I would love to see, like, if this is James Wan without having ties to any sort of cinematic universe, no ties to The Conjuring, no ties to Saw.
Yeah.
If this is him doing that, but still for a wider audience, I'd love to see what he could do for a specific audience, or for a less broad stroke audience.
Yeah.
That would be a absolute
And one of the things I'll say about
pipe
this,
dream of a nightmare.
and that's something else I'll say about this movie. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, I will always choose an A24 horror film over a mainstream one. Not in this case, because this is a movie that, as I was sitting there watching it, it began making me think, this is a better version of that movie they got on Hulu right now called False Positive, which is also,
I've heard of that.
it's also about pregnancy. That movie, I get what it was trying to say, and I get what it was saying. It just was so underwhelming.
Right.
Everything in it was very underwhelming. It was kind of like felt like it was like tepid Rosemary's Baby a little bit. And that was about, again, pregnancy and biological horror, and blending with psychological horror played a big role in that film and in this movie we just watched. This is one of the rare cases where I can say a mainstream horror film did something way better than an indie horror film.
And can we also talk about just how good they portrayed the emotions you were supposed to feel in that? Because, like, everything that had to do with her pregnancy, her miscarriages, the way her husband treated her, I felt so
it was like
hard.
That when she wakes up in the hospital bed, it's like that scene from Kill Bill when she wakes up, when the bride wakes up and thinks her baby is dead, and of course we think she is too. You know, it reminded me of that. Like, this was a very good actress. I won't say she's on the level of, like, Toni Collette in Hereditary, but there were moments where she reminded me of that
Like when her
performance.
sister told her that she had miscarried, and her reaction after
Right.
that, I felt that so bad.
Yeah, because I
Like, obviously I can't relate to it on a personal level because no kids here, but but just like as a woman who has a uterus and has the potential to do that, I felt it pretty harsh.
Yeah. No, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, like, I felt the emotion from Mandy herself, like everything she was experiencing. Even the sister, like, even though she didn't know fully what was going on, but you can tell that she did care for her sister, like, because it was also tied with family. So, like, it's like, because like Mandy had like this whole entire ordeal saying, I want a blood relative, like a child, basically, because you know she didn't know her mother in the movie, and her mother was kind of in a comatose because Gabriel. I'm assuming Gabriel did attack her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He tied her up and.
That's where that saw thing, where
the saw thing.
the camera angles and the music. That's immediately where I felt.
Heck, even the giant fan in the background felt very much like that.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna do some elaborate trap or something like that.
And heck, even when he threw the friggin' dagger like into the wall next to her when she was about to, I'm like, that feels a little Saw 8 and Spiral.
And I'll tell you another thing I loved about this, and this is maybe just personally me. Another thing is, obviously, when Gabriel's running around with this dagger, he's dressed in this, like, black rubber trench coat.
Yeah.
Get it out for revenge. And that reminded me of the killer from the 1953 House of Wax with Vincent Price, which is one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
That's one I still need to see.
Oh, it's cool, too. And it's another one that...
I like Vincent Price.
Yeah. Oh, it's best. It's the best of Vincent Price. Is House of Wax.
I'm gonna put that on my list of horror movies I need to watch.
Where
in
there's
October.
this again. It's about this disfigured guy running around killing people, making it look like suicide so he can steal their bodies from a morgue and put it in a wax museum. Like, it is. I love. Yeah, the 1953 House of Wax. That's why I hate with a burning passion the 2005 one with Paris Hilton.
I heard a lot of people hate that one.
I take that movie personally just because it's a horrid remake of one of my favorites.
Right.
And it's very beautifully stylized too.
Nice.
I also got like Invisible Man vibes too, because you just couldn't see the face at all throughout the movie till, like, you know, when you find out who Gabriel was fully, and just seeing him just run around was kind of funny to me. I don't know why. I thought it just funny, like how he's just like the one girl. There was like, what was her name? She was like an assistant detective with the police officer.
Oh yeah, the real or are you talking about the girl who was in evidence or the real sassy one?
The evidence one.
The evidence one. Okay.
She was like, like. It was just funny to me because I thought she was gonna die.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, she was like that love interest, so
yeah,
like trying to be the love interest of the police officer.
Everyone's going after that police officer. Everyone wants a piece of him.
Apparently so. And this is like, I thought Gabriel was gonna spot her and kill her on the spot, but apparently she lived. I was like,
and that's, I guess, one of the another one of the few shortcomings I had with of this film is I feel like it underused those characters, the man cop and the evidence girl, because I for real thought there was going to be some sort of big plot point that was going to end up with them together.
Yeah.
And I felt like it underused both of them in the end.
Yeah.
They play, at least the guy does. He plays a very important role. The evidence girl, I do feel like she could have been cut somewhere in this film.
Yeah.
I did really like the real sassy head detective. She was funny.
She was.
She brought a lot of tension-breaking moments in where it was very much needed because it was so tense.
I liked the part where when the main girl, she gives a sketch of what Gabriel looks like, and he's all jacked. I got the teeth and like just a skeleton with teeth, and she's like, so what, I'm supposed to put a bolo out on Sloth from the Goonies?
that one really got me.
Oh, that was... And then what was the other one she says? Oh, when they find out that this woman who's kidnapped at the beginning of the film, who, spoiler, turns out to be the girl's real birth mother, you find out she's been being hidden in the attic of her house this whole time. While the cops are there is when they find this. And she's like, we found the rubber suit in your attic, the murder weapon, and the rubber suit, the murder weapon, the kidnap the victim, and you got Jeffrey Dahmer's workshop in your attic. She's like, you can't blame me, it's Gabriel. And she lists all those things. I liked her.
She was
good. She was a great character.
She was like trying to be realistic. Like, come on now, is this supposed to sound
She was funny. She was funny, but she was natural.
Yeah.
Because she was like, what? You think this supernatural things actually exist? No, that doesn't exist. Like, that's stupid. Like,
yeah, she was like the one rational character in the movie.
Yeah, because the sister is a wannabe actress, and she's like, they use psychics here at the police department, don't they? Because I played a psychic on a cop show one time, and they told me they do.
There's actually so many episodes I've seen where they do that of cop shows.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is a crazy, wild movie. Is there anything else we need to talk about with this?
All I can say
the
is
cliffhanger, like
the ending.
The ambiguous
very
ending is really ambiguous.
Like, is she gonna go to jail or not?
Not just that. Well, the fact is that you realize Gabriel's still out there because she's like, "I'll be ready
when you come back."
Yeah, when you come back.
You find out this is something she's just gonna have to deal with the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Which is a little sad when you think about it.
Because you can't just kill her, like, because it's still...
Yeah, they're
which I thought...
the same.
I honestly thought they were going to go for that ending where, in order to stop them, she does do that. I'm so glad they didn't. So
because it completes her character.
Yeah.
Because she realizes she's got this lost past, and she's looking for something to connect to. Like you said at the beginning, Mikey, is that she was like, oh, I want a blood relative. I want someone my own, and that's why she has a kid. And then, of course, she finds that in the end with her sister. So, yeah, I like it that they didn't kill her at the end. I think James Wan made a very good... I'm sure because, there certainly will be some criticism that, like, oh, we oversimplified it because she, of course, just takes over her body at the end. And it's kind of just happens. But I get the reason why he took that path, and I think it's... I like this movie better because he did it. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I enjoyed this movie a lot.
I loved it, flaws and all. I felt like because it didn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Which was just enough to make it that much enjoyable.
It really was.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I want to rate this.
I want to rate it like a least.
We're doing it out of 4, right?
Yeah, out of 4.
I give it a 3.5.
I'm stuck
3.
You give it a 3 out of 4? I give it... I'm trying to figure it out because, like I said, I'm like, I really enjoyed the way, like... But as we sit here talking, and I always get to... It starts to put more in focus. I'm like, well, I still had some kind of issues here and there. I felt those underused characters. I still also don't understand why Gabriel can control electricity like that.
Yeah...
I wish they kind of explained that. Like, they had files for it, but, like, they were going over it just, like, a little quickly. And it's just, like, Gabriel's is just, like, the main point is he is a parasite twin, so.
Yeah. But I just still don't get... because you find out at the end he was this conjoined twin of her that was, like, formed, that was, like, a tumor, which is a real thing. I was telling him about that while we were waiting for you. Have you seen that where they're back? I can't remember when it was. There was like the son of a duke or something who had that.
Yeah, I've seen
a face growing on the back of his head that what he claimed was talking to him.
I think I've heard of that one. I've seen a lot of like smaller places kind of play with that. Like the thing that spoiled it for me in that Rotten Tomatoes comment section was someone did like the Harry Potter Professor Quirrell with Voldemort on the back of his head. And then I think Family Guy did it at one point, but yeah, that's Family Guy. They do weird shit all the time. But that's why I probably like this twist a little better than other people who didn't like it. Just because it's not really something that's been explored in horror very much, if at all.
Yeah, it was surprising. I was very surprised that they went that route with it because I thought from the beginning when you see this like monster thing, I'm like, I couldn't figure out where that was supposed to connect into it. And then it was finally when they start looking at those tapes and they're seeking. I sedated him. We sedated him, and then as soon as they start backing up, I'm like, they're gonna take that camera behind her, and sure enough, there's this thing coming out of the back of her head.
And the VHS video filter they put over it made it that much more just. Ugh. It felt like one of those back in the old Wild West days of YouTube, where you'd find all those like creepy videos that were obviously like made by someone with a 3D software, but they made it so that it felt very real, especially with the VHS recording style.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that, and that stuff just creeps me out.
Yeah.
Period.
That's why I really like Sinister. And that's
one.
the first. Yes,
They can play your first one.
You don't have to even mention that. Everyone knows I'm talking about the first one.
I didn't care for the first one.
You really?
No, it wasn't my cup of tea much.
Oh, I love stuff I love creepy photos and stuff like that.
I will say the VHS content in the film, where it's showing all the families getting murdered in increasingly horrific ways, that freaked me out a lot. The rest of the film just.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have a lot of story. That's why I don't think it's like the best. I probably.
But it's just like the VHS scenes made the movie.
Yeah, it's not like It's definitely that's this creepy stuff about it. Is like it's like Sinister's not the best thing. I don't think. Which is also what this movie really reminds. This movie really fits in with that early 2010s horror. You know, not the second half. You know, when the second half of the 2010s is when all the Jordan Peele's and Ari Aster's and Robert Eggers came out and started saying, let's make horror films about deep concepts and themes and things. When in the 2010s you said, let's just have some fucked up monster running around a house killing people, and that's what this movie is, and I love it for that. I give it a 3 out of 4.
I felt like it took all the best parts of movies from that era and put them all in one film.
It did. It's very overpacked for that. It is very, like I said, it's very overpacked. It's trying to be too many things. There's almost too much going on at times. It almost becomes convoluted. I was never really too confused by it, but I really like this. This was a really good film. This is like I said earlier, this is a great lead into the Halloween season, especially for me, considering I was really kind of disappointed with Candyman. I didn't do a video on that because you had to call off for that one. And the people I went with, this kind of stuff isn't their thing.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so
I remember them saying something about that.
Yeah, and so I didn't do a video on Candyman, and we left Candyman. We were all kind of like, I feel like that was a little overhyped.
There was just kind of a lukewarm feeling afterwards.
Yeah, I thought it was. We'd be here another 30 minutes if I was going to do. I did not like the script. I thought, and I especially, particularly the dialogue, which I thought was way too on the nose with the commentary.
Well, now I know that did Jordan Peele have anything to do with the script?
He wrote it with like 2 other people, including the director. It's way too. It's where it explains itself worse than this, but particularly in the politics it's expressing. And there's a fine line between making a really smart movie and just sounding like somebody on an Instagram rant. And that movie sounded too much like this. It sounded like Twitter people talking about politics.
So not the same feel as Us and Get Out.
No, it's well below Us and Get Out. Yeah, I love the look of Candyman. Me and our friend.
Yeah, that puppet thing, that puppeteering thing.
The lighting. It looked like this. It was better than this. The lighting, the set design, everything. It's just when the characters want to. All the characters are very one-dimensional. They're very one-dimensional, and they talk like stereotypes. And have you seen Candyman yet?
No, I haven't. But now I heard people talk about it, so I have my. Dab it a little.
Amber kind of like our friend. She kind of warmed up to it after a few days. She said, "I'm still convinced that this one's gonna be my overrated. This one's gonna be one of my it's gonna be one of my big disappointments, and probably one that I'm just like because the way they're praising it, it's obvious that they're praising it because they like the message, but the craftsmanship on it, in terms of the writing, nah. You have to have a good script. I still think." It's important. An important message is good, but you have to have a good script still.
Oh, don't worry, we got Halloween coming.
We
out
got
soon.
lots of good horror movies coming. We got Halloween. We got Last Night in Soho.
Oh,
We got and we got also what the trailer. If we want to, since we're probably done talking about
Yeah,
more,
we got trailers.
we can do,
also, your rating for the film.
3. Yeah, I mentioned 3.
Gotcha.
3 out of 4 for me. 3 out of 4 for him, and 3.5 out of you. Okay, so now we'll do trailers.
A lot of them I'd seen already.
Yeah, Eternals.
We saw that.
I have not
last
seen
time.
that.
You haven't
So
seen
that was my first time.
Okay, we'll let
Yeah,
you say.
yeah.
Well, let's hear what you have to say on it since you haven't gotten it before.
Because me being a Marvel nerd, I don't really know much about Eternals, but I am
Yeah, because that's kind of like a new thing in the franchise, right?
Yeah, in the MCU. I feel like they're gonna talk about the big threat for Phase 4. Probably that's what I got from it.
Mm-hmm.
So far,
Makes sense.
I don't know none of the characters, so I can't really
Yeah.
put have an attachment to like them. Like for example, like Spider-Man. Come on, Far From Home. But I'll give it a benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And let it sink with me a little bit.
I will too. Like you said, I don't know any of the characters, although I keep thinking that one dude that Selma Hayek's talking to at the beginning, for some reason, every time I've seen this, I keep thinking that is Winter Soldier. And then I realize it's not.
Yeah.
But for some reason, my brain keeps
Right.
saying, he looks like, he just kind of reminds me.
He has that facial
He favors Sebastian Stan a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm more interested in this because of who's directing it.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao, who, just won an Oscar for that movie Nomadland.
Yeah.
And I think that's so funny that Marvel finally gets to use that in their trailer. From Academy Award winning director
I know,
Chloe
right?
Zhao. They finally get to pull that. They jumped on this. She won an Oscar just like 6 months ago, and they already jumped on that and
You
put
gotta
that in
love
the
Disney.
trailer.
Love Disney and their marketing.
So acting like they're making the next Dunkirk. Okay, but yeah, that's Eternals. What was it?
The
before?
Matrix.
Matrix Resurrections.
But me and Logan watched that in class, funny enough.
In screenwriting. We're talking about compressing and extending time in screenwriting yesterday, and we watched in there because, you have these things where it goes slow-mo, and then you have stuff
Fast
like, like
the
the agents, how they move super quick.
Yeah. Now, I will admit, I've never gotten on the Matrix, but I thought the trailer looked really good.
I will tell you this, the first one is the only one that's any good.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And it's like not even like close. Like you have the first one, which is almost perfect, and then a huge elevator drop, and then you have 2 and 3. Like there's not a like if this movie could be about, if this movie would be twice as good as the other 2, it would be well below the first one. Yeah, the Matrix sequels they didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
They did not know where to go after the first one.
I have a feeling a lot of people, though, will probably be watching it just because Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
He's a lot older. He's a lot hotter.
I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it just because they want to see more Matrix, and John Wick is obviously a big thing right now, so people want to see more. The only weird thing about this trailer. Why is Neil Patrick Harris... One, why is Neil Patrick Harris in it? And 2, why is he talking like some overly politically correct college professor in this? Did y'all catch that up on that? He's got these like very prominent colored glasses frames, and he's sitting there talking to Keanu. He's like, "You look very triggered."
Yeah.
And then he's...
I don't know if that's actually like lingo they might actually use in therapy.
It makes me worry.
It makes me think that too, but it also makes me think because then he later on says, Keanu Reeves says, "Am I crazy?" And he goes, "We don't use that word here."
Yeah. Because that's the thing about the word trigger is that I think it originally had its place in therapy.
Yeah.
But then Tumblr took it and went wild with it.
It's just that next part where he talks about we don't use that word here. It sounds like, I'm like, what in the world is this?
I mean, I kind of get it though, because it's like if you're a therapist and your client says, "Am I crazy?" You don't want to tell them, "Okay, maybe you're a little crazy," because that's kind of counterproductive.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's the only weird thing about it. Like the rest of it, looks like a Matrix film. I don't know. That's just weird. And it's just weird that Neil Patrick Harris is there. Like, what a weird actor to throw into a Matrix movie.
I mean, we got
Barney from How I Met Your Mother.
Maybe he's just a big Matrix fan, and he was like, "Hey, you need like someone to play a part in here. I love The Matrix.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just put Morgan Freeman and
Yeah.
you probably get the same result.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Matrix.
And I feel like Morgan Freeman would sell it better.
But yeah, we had Matrix. We had Eternals. The very first. What was the very first one? It was Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, which I've already seen a million trailers for at this point.
This is my first time watching this trailer because I'm honestly not that excited for this.
Really?
I hated the first. What did you think of the first?
I enjoyed it because I'm
Oh
Spider-Man geek.
man.
I took it for what it is, and I'm more open to it. I was like, you know what? Even though it's not connected to MCU or like Peter Parker, I still enjoyed it for what it was because we don't get to see Venom on the big screen, and everybody knows Venom. He's like one of Spidey's like greatest rivals. So like, I took it for what it was. I was like, you know what? I'm happy, and I can't wait for it to Let It Be Carnage. Honestly.
Yeah, I'll give it this. It looks like it could make if it focuses more on Woody Harrelson than it does on Tom Hardy. I feel like it would definitely be better than the first one. I thought Tom Hardy was awful playing this. He didn't feel like he was playing like. He did not feel like he was playing some anti-hero. He felt like he was playing one of the Three Stooges in the first one. He's just bumbling around, babbling like an idiot. And having this fight, you know, this headbutting with Venom that it didn't make me think of like some psychological thriller, which is what the trailer made it look like. Remember that? It made it look like it was going to be a horror film where he's like in the CAT scan machine freaking out.
Right.
And then you watch the actual movie and realize they've done completely changed the music, the tone. It's not scary. It's funny. Like, it felt very outdated. Like, it felt like if you told me it was made in like 2005 when they were making like the very first Fantastic Four, you know, the one with Chris Evans and like the Silver Surfer, I would believe you because it has that same tone. That was for me just, that wasn't like as bad as like the 2015 Fantastic Four, but Venom's kind of down there for me.
Right.
I will give this Carnage one a chance just because I was really digging Woody Harrelson in it.
Right.
I was,
Definitely seemed like a psychopath.
But he's good at playing like that kind of guy anyways. Yeah, it's just if that Tom Hardy, God gracious, even the scenes he had in this trailer, I'm just like, oh, I don't like seeing you in this. You played Charles Bronson one time. That's how you play a fucking psycho. You know, is when he played Charles Bronson, talking about one of the best performances not nominated for an Oscar. And now you're in this. Like, that's so below. Something like Venom is so below an actor like Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't have an opinion on it. Like, again, I'm not the Marvel person. I think the deepest I ever got into the Marvel universe was Deadpool.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to do. Give it their own. Sony was trying to make their own Deadpool.
Yeah, and
essentially.
But the thing was, is they made it so Are they going to make this one R-rated?
I think so.
I hope so.
With like effects like Carnage was looking like, they better.
Because the first one ended up, you could tell, was edited down to PG-13, and I thought that's what made it worse. Is it felt very sanitized.
Yeah.
But Let There Be Carnage. And last one was The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos origin movie. Thing. I was never into that.
Me neither.
I get
can't give you an opinion on
I
that.
know it was very popular.
Yeah.
It was a very popular show. It was kind of like the Breaking Bad of the 2000s. I think a lot of people said they did not like the final season and the ending.
I feel like that's the case with most TV shows.
But I know it was a very popular show. People really liked it. I didn't really have any interest. I got this when I got the same trailer when I went and saw Candyman. I didn't really. I wasn't planning on seeing it, even though it's going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
After seeing the trailer, I'm kind of interested in it, just because it gives me kind of like this Martin Scorsese sort of Irishman vibes.
I don't know why I thought about The Godfather for some reason.
Yeah, it is kind of Godfather.
It's also that crime family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost, in a sense, it is kind of Godfather 2-ish, where we see like Vito's backstory, and now we get Tony's backstory.
Marlon Brando's a young man played by Robert De Niro. Now you're getting this, and that's the original actor's actual son.
Oh Oh, wow.
Yeah, James Gandolfini was the original one.
No wonder he looks so close to
Michael, that's his son. I believe his son's name is Michael. He was the one, and he was actually with his dad when
his son's name's Michael. That's ironic because
Yeah.
it's very Godfather-ish.
Yeah, I believe his name's Michael. He was actually with his dad when he died. They were vacationing in Italy about 6 or 7 years ago, and he died while they were over there. And so now his son's going to become an actor and is now playing a younger version of the character that his dad was known for playing.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this looks cool. It looks intense. I'll watch this.
I'll
watch it.
probably. I might not again because I wasn't, but I would probably recommend to my dad to watch it because he watches.
It's on
Sopranos
HBO. It's on HBO. It'll be on HBO Max, I think, next month. So yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah,
because I mean, he was also like into the Breaking Bad stuff, so he watched the series that was a prequel, Better Call Saul, then the movie. He watched all the Sopranos, and now I can tell him, hey, he's got a movie now.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. I'm probably going to watch Cry Macho with my dad probably this weekend, which is the new Clint Eastwood movie. Because my dad loves Clint Eastwood, and so we'll probably watch that one on HBO Max.
Right.
Well, I think that was it, so I guess we're about done. Let's get out of here. It's to quote King of the Hill, I do believe I have caught a case of the vapors.
It's like
I know, I'm sitting there sweating. I'm like,
all right.
ooh.
It's all fun up in here.
I know, right?
Yep. All right. I guess we'll go. I don't know what we have next within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else in September. Like everything's going to be dropping October.
Yeah.
Or at least everything we want to see.
Some people will have movies to watch, especially horror films. That's what I'm about to do.
I mean, Halloween Kills, Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
They were like, what, 2
And
months?
I don't even know when that's going to come out because that's bouncing around the film festival circuit right now.
Yeah, I heard it was like October 22nd,
Yeah.
I think, which is also the same week that Halloween Kills comes out.
Yeah, it'll probably come out late. It's sometime
I
between
feel like
now
Halloween
and
Kills
the
is
end
going
of
to
the year,
get the more views because it's
Probably.
Halloween and it's the
Yeah.
sequel.
Halloween.
And the same week as well, French Dispatch comes out.
Oh, yeah, we were looking at the poster. I was telling him about it because the poster is sitting out there in the hallway
Yeah.
while we were waiting on you. Yeah, I'm ready for that too. We'll do that one whenever that one comes out too. But yeah, as for right now, I can't think of anything that's going to be in a theater. I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all updated.
We're going to probably actually watch Paw Patrol, y'all.
Yep, sure. I'm sure it's just as good as this movie.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it'll go for best animated feature at the Oscars next year.
Yeah, what
Dude,
anime
if
movie?
that actually does come up, I'm gonna be like, ugh, I'll be done with the Oscars at that point.
Don't worry, y'all. Next year we get Spider-Verse, and it's gonna get nominated for everything, like it did for what Oscar?
It got best animated feature that year.
Yeah.
Which I felt like it deserved.
It really did.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a free weekend or a free day and you're looking for something that's going to make you squirm and just be really tense and freaked out, go see Malignant.
Yeah, this was good. I liked this. Yeah, this was really fun. All right. Guess we'll sign off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.